The following episode will contain spoilers. You have been warned.
You're listening to Cinema IRL, the podcast that throws you into the movie and asks the question, what would you do? Sometimes passion isn't enough to move the needle, even if you're the governor. You have to learn how to work the system, as Amber and Scott discuss after watching Ella McCay. And now, Cinema IRL.
I wish I could switch places for just one day.
What would you do?
Put yourself in my shoes.
How do we handle this?
What would you do?
Put yourself in my position.
What would you do?
Now it's your turn.
Politics is a tricky game.
Yeah, it sure is. Oh, you want me to talk now? I thought maybe you had a follow-up to the whole tricky game
not
thing.
really.
No? Okay. Alrighty. Hey, folks. Today we are talking about Ella McCay. It is a political comedy drama film that follows an idealistic young lieutenant governor who unexpectedly ascends to the state's highest office when her mentor accepts a cabinet position and chaos ensues with the politics and family.
Yeah, it definitely ensues. I have to feel like this is... I mean, the filmmakers have said that it's not set in any particular state, but this has got to be one of those states where you run governor and lieutenant governor as a party.
Okay.
Because Ella would not be electable.
Yeah, she has her heart in the right place, wants to do a lot of good, but her enthusiasm gets the best of her in the fact that she can, I don't know, just kind of have her own little filibuster because she just talks and talks and talks and talks and talks, and everyone falls asleep and she alienates everyone.
Yeah, she is a walking, sitting, moving filibuster.
Yeah. So she is, we guess, around like 34 or so, and she helped the current governor as his chief of staff in a prior race, and it looks like he brought her up with him, and she's the lieutenant governor, but he gets offered a cabinet position and basically says, well, lucky you got to be governor for the next 14 months. And at the same time, she is dealing with this reporter who has some intel about her and her husband. Long story short, they have used a residence that belongs to the government for nooners, for her to try and keep her marriage alive, even though she's working 18-hour days. She still wants to give some time to her husband to keep her marriage going okay. So she uses this apartment to spend time with him when she can get away for a little bit on a lunch break. And apparently a fired security guard tells a reporter, and now the reporter is basically saying, yeah, you can either give me some special access as a reporter that will help me, I don't know, shine and get better stories, or I'm going to out you. Yeah.
So I guess the first logical question is what do you do if you're her faced with that? And I don't know if I would have done it as quickly as she did, but here's the thing about blackmail, like information blackmail. It's always sitting over you.
Yeah, you pay someone off once and then they need some money again, say, oh, I still have this, and now I'm going to tell this group of people or this other entity or whatnot. Yeah, it doesn't go away just because you pay someone.
Yeah, you can't have a legal contract that says you will no longer blackmail me.
Yeah. And Ella is with her longtime childhood sweetheart, Ryan. They've been together since they were in high school. And he is spontaneous and kind of goofy and kind of likable, and comes from I'm going to use air quote, normal family here. And his family owns a pizza place. And he apparently shared with the security guard what he and Ella were doing in that apartment. And then the security guard leveraged when he got fired to the reporter. So her husband, Ryan, is actually responsible for this huge problem that is surfacing at the same time that she is going to move up to the governorship. And her doopy husband later on makes it worse by paying a bribe to the reporter and doing it with a check. A check.
I could not tell if he was stupid or destructive.
I think he was both.
Because, like, you don't pay... You don't pay off bribery with a check.
You don't make any sort of illegal anything with any evidence that's traceable and documentable.
Even Trump knew that.
And he even is, I want to say irritating, but it's actually kind of enraging in his, I don't know if it's his oblivion or his self-importance. I'm not sure what the right word is here, but basically his mommy gets in his ear of like, well, your wife's the governor now. You shouldn't just be the governor's husband. She should give you a title so you can have influence and you can have a staff and you can have meetings and you can have a nameplate and you can have a parking spot. So then he comes at her in the same conversation of saying he paid $7,500 with a check and says, yeah, I want you to read this, and saying we are going to do this together and you get two people for one, and make this whole big announcement like he's co-governor. And she says no. And then he was like, well, yeah, then I'm going to announce everything publicly. And not only announces that they're breaking up, but announces the $7,500 check and blames her. I hate him so hard.
Yeah. So a few things. Number one, if I'm her, when her husband basically starts effectively blackmailing me.
Yeah.
In a way. What I would have done is literally I would have looked at him and said, listen, I am absolutely open to having this discussion, just not while I'm on the way to my first all-staff meeting. If you force me to answer right now, it's a no. If we can talk about it later, we will talk about it later. We can talk about it tonight, but not right now.
Yeah, she kept trying to leave, and this goes to just conversations you and I have had you got to use your words. You can't just walk away. You got to use your words and saying, can't do this right now. Let's come back to it in 2 hours or tomorrow morning or on Thursday. You have to be very specific.
Yeah. Because, that's the thing he wanted. It didn't have to be right that second. Now...
But how much could he actually love her as a wife and partner if he's basically using this opportunity to exploit the situation and get something from her?
Weak people are easily manipulated.
And that's the thing is, she might have been governor, but it's a job. Like, just because one spouse in a marriage gets a job doesn't mean that the other person automatically gets to co-job it.
Well, yeah, and... frankly, the mother did have a point. Like, she could appoint him to a director of or something, like some position. But
do you want to be that president, that governor that is just first day doling out a bunch of nepotism, or even on the 30th day or the 60th day that's, hey, I got this job and I'm going to start bringing in my family. No, they're not qualified, but I'm going to start handing out jobs and benefits and perks.
Well,
who wants to be that person?
He had a long retail bit of experience.
Yes, he was in the family business of pizza.
Yes. Listen, you can find a way to frame, like if you want to get a government job and you have somebody who can just directly give it to you and you're not wanting to look like that, you can find a job for them that will work.
So is your what would you do? You would give your spouse a job?
I did not say that.
Okay.
I said we would have a conversation about it at home, not right there, because that was not...
Well, yeah, for that moment, but now you're talking about what kind of job you could give someone. So I'm saying, would you give...
We'll be like,
it's the later time for the conversation.
I'd be like, okay, give me clarification here, because there's only one governor, and that is me. Now, I am your wife, so you will be in my ear all the time, and you will be able to have influence because we sleep in the same bed. If it's a title you're looking for, what title is it that you think that you would be suitably appropriate for? And kind of put the onus on him, because it's not co-governor. That doesn't exist. That's not a real title. So I think...
And it's extremely presumptuous to think that if your partner gets a job that you're in. Like, they are unrelated.
No, I disagree actually on that one. It's if you are able to be the chief executive officer of a state, you can. I mean, it's certainly far from unheard of for family members to be in and around and involved.
Oh, yeah, it happens all the time. All I'm saying is what would you do is I wouldn't want to be the person that perpetuates a flawed system and just bringing in friends and family because you can. And if I were the partner, I wouldn't want to get a job just because I happen to be married to someone who now can just pull the strings in my favor. So I wouldn't want a part of that on either side.
Like, having a healthy discussion about it in a environment where it's just you two and you have more than 30 seconds, you can get to that. And maybe that is what it turns out to be, is that, do you really want this? I think he just got his family in his ear about it, and
he's a dumb idiot.
Yeah, he was
mom.
a very weak person. So, yeah, he was easily manipulated by his family.
Yeah, and the more we got to know him, it almost started to feel like he realized that when they met early on that Ella was going to go places. And, hey, I can be along for the ride and ride the coattails and let me see what I can get.
Yeah. So,
which is great, to create equity in a marriage.
So what do you do if you're in her position after he comes out and is like, bribery is hers, all of this was on her?
Yeah, it's one thing to make that mistake, the stupid check mistake, but it's a whole other thing to then go on the news and saying, yeah, we're breaking up, and my wife, the governor, wrote a check of $7,500. Like, oh gosh, what would I do? They have an exercise between Ella and her aunt where they're kind of saying, scream, let it out. There would not be a scream loud enough for me if that idiot was my spouse.
So I would be like, dude, you just made the biggest mistake of your life, because it's 2008 and it is so easy to just click on your bank and get a copy of that check. The copy that's going to have your signature where the sign is.
Well, he'll just say she made me do it. I mean, it's a he said, she said, regardless.
Well, no, in the end, he did it. It's his signature on that check.
Yeah, and he could say, yeah, my wife, the governor, wanted me to bury it, so I took care of it for my wife. I mean, it's a Stella he said, she said situation.
Well, yeah, but the proof, the irrefutable proof on the he said, she said, is that there is a signature and it is yours.
Again, you could still say, my wife, the new governor, wanted me to bury this and hide it, and I did for her.
Okay, and again, that's a he said, she said situation, because she's going to say no.
Yeah.
So you take out all of that, and what are you left with? You're left with the fact that he signed a check. Because
it's rarely about the facts. It's about the narrative and the perception. I mean, let's be real here. Most things on that scale, especially when it comes to any sort of scandal or politics or whatever, it's not always about the facts. It's about the perception.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm her, I would have gone on offense badly at that point.
Oh, I would have come out and buried him saying, listen, I was made aware of this situation. I brought it to your attention my first day as governor. And after the fact, my husband came to me and said, in an effort to try and help me, he did this. And then he wanted me to just give him a place in governor, or since I was governor and I wasn't willing to abuse my power like that. So what you see is this unhinged lunatic right now who's on the news saying I did the stuff.
Yeah, and that's not a he said, she said situation, because she has a written note from her. Basically,
I actually wondered about that. Did she grab it or did he? Because I was like, if I was her, I would have grabbed that note. And it was like, but do you really have the foresight to think that your spouse is going to actually blatantly lie and take you down in a blaze of glory like that.
Once you've read that note, yes.
But I didn't see who ended up with the note, because at the time, obviously, we didn't know that's what he was going to do.
If I were her, and this, what would you do? I would take the note.
But you don't know at the time the note is a thing. He's writing the note we're talking about is Ryan writes out a note saying, this is what I want you to see. I want you to read to everyone of saying, I could not do this without him. You get 2 for 1, and he's going to help me do this. Oh, and along the way in this news thing that he does, he also insinuates that she's unsure and not confident. She can't do it without him. F you, Ryan.
Well, and again, like, if you're in politics, you're savvy. As soon as she reads that note, that's got to be a massive red flag to her that, okay, we're going to have issues here. I need to keep this note. I need to keep the thing that's in his handwriting that says that.
You know what? And this is the thing. They had been married for, probably like 17 years. You're not in the mindset that, hey, I need to get evidence in case my spouse of 17 years, which I basically have a pretty good relationship with, is going to blow up my life and completely discredit me and tell all these lies. Well, I don't think your mind goes there.
Yeah, no, I think it does. You have to remember the reason this whole thing started with the screwing in the one bedroom was because their marriage was kind of falling apart. There were cracks.
I didn't get that it was falling apart.
She literally said her marriage was suffering, and she did that to try to keep it.
I didn't hear that she said her marriage was suffering. She said that she was trying to be a good wife while also working these long hours.
No, she very specifically said it was suffering. I'm quite positive of that.
Okay.
So, there are cracks there. I'm just saying, also in politics, I hate to say it, a lot of politics is DTA. Don't trust anybody.
Well, again, I mean, if I'm feeling like that about a partner I've been with 17 years, hopefully I would have bailed a long time ago. And if I hadn't, shame on me.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to switch this to Eddie, Ella's dad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's a piece of work, too. The poor Ella is surrounded by a bunch of just garbage men in her life, except for her brother, who he's certainly not a garbage guy, but he does have some of his own unique challenges.
Man, that dude's in his mid to late 20s, making $2.1 million a year. Holy hell.
Yeah. So her dad.
He's obviously trying to reconcile, but it also seems like the reconciliation is coming because of the urging of his new partner.
Okay, so in a nutshell, for those who haven't seen the film, Ella's dad is a POS and has repeatedly cheated on his mom, and his mom died, and even when she was sick, he cheated on her. And when Ella's brother was young, the dad sent him off to military school because he just didn't want to be responsible, and they left Ella with her aunt. So there's a lot of history in there, but long story short, her dad is a repeat philanderer and somehow now is in a relationship with someone who says, you need to make peace with your kids and everyone needs to forgive each other, and if you don't do it, I'm going to leave you. So now he's motivated to be like, oh, I'm sorry, forgive me.
Well, I'll make this one easy. What would you do if your estranged father, who you hadn't seen in forever, came up to you all of a sudden and wanted forgiveness?
Yeah, F you. F you and the husband. F the dad, F the husband.
But I mean, I understand, I doubt it would happen, but you actually could potentially be put in that position. Even I could, to a point.
They say that when you don't forgive people, you're only punishing yourself, and the forgiveness sets you free, and blah, 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 blah.
No.
I'm all for holding a good grudge, and it's not eating at me. And this is the thing is, you can't hold on to something and let it destroy you. You can't let it eat at you. If you find that ability to still have your feelings and have your grudge, and it's just, it is, and you don't think about it for long periods of time, that's okay.
Here's the thing, and this is a thing we know. What is the opposite of love?
Yeah, it's not hate, it's indifference.
Apathy, absolutely. So that's the thing. She's no longer holding a grudge. She's just no longer holding anything. I just don't care enough about you to hold anything.
Yeah, you're a terrible dad. You destroyed our family. You cheated on my mom up until the moment she died and she was sick. And now the only reason you're even trying to resolve anything with me is for yet another woman.
Yeah, sometimes apologies do come too late.
Yeah, and I think Ella was okay with that. Like she had that history, she had those experience, she had those feelings, but I don't think she was letting it eat at her.
Now,
and if she wanted to stay angry, more power to you,
that's
Ella.
her brother Casey was clearly in a shell from being pseudo broken up with this girl he dated for a while, and it's been 13 months. But at her urging, he finally tries to go to her and reconcile. Like, is it too late? And in that case, no, it wasn't too late. There actually was a chance to reconcile this, but it had been 13 months, not 13 years.
Yeah, and that's probably a whole other story for a whole could be an episode in and of itself, because they broke up because he kind of gave this weird, like, I don't want to be with anybody, but again, wasn't really specific. And she thought it was weird, and then they didn't see each other anymore. And so he comes over after being encouraged by his sister to reach out to her. And he is some level of intense or manic or just
frenetic is the word I would use to describe him.
That is so much energy, and that would send me running away.
That was crazy frenetic energy.
Yeah, and Susan, the girl, was incredibly overwhelmed and was like, okay, well, let's get out of the house, let's go, let's do everything. And he was just, wow, he was so much. And ultimately he says, will you be my girlfriend? And you're like, oh, yeah, no, all these guys in this movie are dysfunctional. Let's get away from all of them. And she says, yeah, let's do it.
And she was surprised she said that. Like, her brain was saying no the whole time, but somehow that heart was like, yes.
That was actually painful to watch. What would I do? I would thank baby Jesus that I had dodged a bullet 13 months back and said, you know what? It was good to see you. This was a mistake. Let's stay in touch. You got to go now.
I disagree completely, actually, on that one. Like, it was clear. Like, for one, she had to know some of his dysfunction, having dated him. So she knew what she was getting from him. It was clear that he was truly, truly remorseful for the things that had happened.
Well, but things that had happened, he basically just liked her and wanted to date her exclusively. He just said it very awkwardly, but he didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah. I mean,
there was nothing to apologize for.
Yeah. I mean, he did it the wrong way. He was trying to do it the right way. It's like me. You tell me to keep things simple. I don't say things simple. I don't. I actually saw a lot of myself in that character, not the frenetic energy. Anyway, one thing I do want to get on audio here, I loved this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, this actually is, I don't know if it's going to crack the absolute top echelon, though it might. It's definitely in the one below it.
It's funny because there was nothing especially noteworthy about it. It wasn't a really gritty topic or really funny or really over-the-top drama. It was just insight into a dysfunctional family and how it was impacting our major character.
The characters were very well defined, and I do like that. Like, I feel like you knew what you were getting from all the characters, and I think that's important in a movie. And maybe it's because I once had some dreams of political stuff that maybe I loved it more, but I do tend to like these movies, but I loved it.
Yeah, it was definitely an enjoyable film. I liked it as well.
Final thoughts?
What would I do? Just because someone is your childhood sweetheart doesn't mean that you have to keep your train hitched to that. I don't know. That whole relationship with her husband was just Ella's aunt referred to Ryan, her husband, as he is a ticking time bomb. And that wound up being the case. So I guess just be aware enough to see the warning signs, I guess.
And if you have your entire political party trying to push you out of office, just remember, like Governor Bill said, you're definitely holding more cards than you think you are.
We hope you enjoyed our episode. Thank you for listening. And to catch all the new episodes, please subscribe. We release 2 to 3 episodes weekly, so we'll have new content regularly. Until next time.